Okay, so today in the news, not fit to print, according to mainstream media, Russia has done an intriguing move. It's deployed all its nuclear submarines. No explanation why. Said that the entire fleet was sent out to the to sea on high alert in the Pacific. There's been some rumblings about some strange activity between China and Russia that is not getting a lot of attention in the media. What I'm seeing is apparently Ukraine and Russia again are back at having some issues. Of course, we see Taiwan and China is having some issues. I've heard rumblings that China and Russia are kind of combining military forces. So this is something I think we need to keep an eye on. I don't want to get into too much overseas information because it's all speculative. There's just no information. You're not going to get any information from Russia or China that's not going to make mainstream news. But ship deployments, that is a provocative, strange thing. Different subject. Twitter has decided to ban all pictures of people that did not give permission for their pictures to be on Twitter. There are exceptions. One exception is if you're a public figure and it's in public interest. I don't think you could actually go and say, put a picture up of some like their family members. Federal judge in Missouri, my home state right here, has decided that Biden's ban on people not having the injection, so he wants people to have the injection for any facility, hospitals, that receive Medicaid or Medicare. So the federal judge says that he can't do that. So they put a restriction on that. That's 10 states that affects, like Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. So this, I think, has made a lot of people happier that they'll be able to keep their jobs. We know that a lot of nurses have quit over this. So good news for the hospitals. This one I just find absolutely incredible. 21-year-old congressman, state congressman for Kansas, the state of Kansas. He was arrested in October he was arrested in November for drunk driving on I-70. That's a major interstate through the state of Missouri, going to Kansas. I guess it's into Kansas also. So he was busted. The thing is, the month prior to that, he was arrested for domestic violence against his brother, 18-year-old brother. So this guy's 21 years old. His name's Aaron Coleman. He goes to up to his brother, and he spits on him, pushes him, hits him, because his brother said he wanted to be baptized. Now, this is a real good example of what's going on in our world. Sign of the times. We have a 21-year-old in Congress who decides that if you're not allowed to have freedom of religion, because if you're not, then he's going to beat on you. The world has gone crazy. Now, here's the real question. Why are we hiring 21-year-olds to run our states? I mean, I couldn't even imagine that he has a law degree to actually write a law. Makes no sense to me. So in my last news report, I said that the Prime Minister of Great Britain came out and said we all have to get vaccines for this new Omicron variant. Apparently Biden has come out and said the same thing, that we should get the extra vaccines and all that other stuff. I mean, it's hard to keep track of how many vaccines you're supposed to get now. But Moderna CEO comes out and admits that their vaccine won't work on Omicron. So my guess is they're going to have to develop something else. This is just a guess, so that it would help with Omicron. Now, I want to keep in mind that this is kind of weird to me. Africa has already came out and said it's not near as dangerous. It's a very mild symptoms. And I've heard a lot of doctors say that, of course, these new variants will be more transmissible, but less dangerous. So that's actually good news. Arizona University, let me back up a little bit. Kyle Rittenhouse, during his testimony, said that he was taking classes to be a nurse at Arizona University. Well, Arizona University students are very upset about this and wanted Kyle Rittenhouse kicked out of school. They don't want him in school, whatever. So the school has come out and said that he's not currently registered in any classes. Now, they did not explain if they kicked him out of the classes or if he was finished with classes, hadn't re-enrolled, I don't know. But he is not currently enrolled in any classes. Getting back to Omicron, Biden put out a statement saying, don't panic. There's room for concern, but don't panic. So that initially made New York governor not panic by declaring an state of emergency. So I'm glad we're not panicking. There are no cases in the United States. So I'm glad that the New York governor isn't panicking, and we immediately declared a state of emergency so we can get extra resources to the hospitals. That's really good news. Or strange, I'm not sure which, whatever you want to cover. So in my last newscast, I mentioned that Maxwell had started her trial. So she is under arrest or convicted or being tried for getting girls ready to be with her boyfriend. It's a terrible thing that has happened. In that video, I suggested that maybe she turned down a plea agreement. I didn't think that she would want to go to trial if there was a plea agreement on the table. That being said, I just found out that she was not offered a plea agreement. So I'm a little bit more upbeat about this. At first I was like, they're gonna let her go. They're just gonna let her go because so many people are involved. I mean, we're talking about, well, heads of states all over the world that are involved with very bad activities with young girls. And she's right at the center of it. We all know that we all know that Maxwell is the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, who was arrested for bad activities with little girls, young women. I don't know. Well, I don't want to say young women. That's not fair. Young girls. So Maxwell groomed these girls, according to the indictment, so that they would be with Jeffrey Epstein. This is a sickening case. I hope she gets what she deserves. I'm a little concerned about who's prosecuting. I said this in the last video. This is the daughter of the previous FBI, the head of the FBI. So there is suspicions that some of the FBI members may have been involved with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. It's just very yucky. I don't like any of it. So as I reported in the last video, Jack Dorsey has stepped down as CEO of Twitter. And I cautioned everybody not to get too excited. Sure enough, I was right. First thing that comes out is everybody's upset that the new CEO has made Twitter or some sort of social media information available that he's opposed to white people. He's not a big fan of white people. And he suggested that the algorithm doesn't meet First Amendment requirements. And he's fine with that, which means that the First Amendment does not apply to his company, which we all know that's true. First Amendment doesn't apply to private companies, it applies to government. But he has made it very clear that he is going to restrict conversations. There's just no way around it. He has said that he's going to restrict conversations on Twitter that doesn't meet his expectations. So since he has mentioned white people in that, as well as restriction conversations or censoring speech, we know who's he's going to censor. He's come out and said it. Well, that's all the news that's not fit to print. Thanks for watching.